All right, everybody, welcome back into Sports Drive. Joining us now, the head coach of the Caprock Longhorns basketball team, Coach Michael Jackson. Coach, thanks so much for making the time. I know you guys are kind of on the road right now, headed down to another tournament. Kind of so is the story of playing these pre-district games, and a lot of tournaments happen to pop up during this time.
Yes, I love tournament play. It's an opportunity for us to get better, and for our team, we're real young, so every game we play, it matters, for us. So, last year, I graduated a lot of seniors. I had one returner, so everybody is new to the team, so it gives us an opportunity to get better.
Absolutely, Coach Jackson. And, you mentioned you guys headed down to Midland, a long drive for you guys. And, you kind of mentioned that young team and tournament play a little bit. What is it about, the tournament atmosphere that you really like and that you feel like is really helpful in preparing for, the district season?
Well, it's you get to play a lot of games at once. So all those things that you see out there that you need to fix and you need to work on, you get an opportunity to work on those things. And this right here, we're going to play Legacy. We scrimmaged them for a little bit, and then tomorrow we'll see Monterey and we'll see Midland High, and we've already played those teams once, so we're familiar with three out of the four teams that we're going to play. So I'm looking forward to it to see. It's like a measuring stick for us. How good can we get? It's not necessarily about the opponent. It's about us getting better. So
Absolutely.
I'm looking
Absolutely,
forward to
Coach.
it.
What are some of the specifics you're looking for tomorrow against that Legacy team? Some things that you're really hoping that the team can hone in on and improve over the course of the next few weeks?
One is offensive execution. That's one. We need to really find an identity. We have guys that are pretty talented, but like I say, I mean, we don't know each other well. We're trying to find some chemistry there. The other thing is we're outsized. So defensively, we're going to need to be able to do some things that that are humanly possible. I should say, because we're outside. So putting our bodies on people, play from the floor up. You know what I'm saying? I always tell my guys, you got to play like Zach Randolph, play from the floor up, and put your body on people. So we're looking to improve those things right there. So
Absolutely, Coach.
they're
I
pretty
like
good
that
for us.
mentality. Everybody loves the junkyard dog, so I like the Zach Randolph reference. That's a
Yeah.
good one. I gotta ask. You mentioned some of those
Yes.
talented players. You mentioned some of those talented players you have. One of those that really stood out in your last game against Hereford, Diego Lewis. Led your team in scoring and made one of the passes during that game. Talk about all the way down the court that eventually led to a layup for you guys. It was
Yes.
just tremendous play. I mean, can you talk about what you've seen from him so far and what kind of potential you
Well,
see out of him?
you can tell a kid or a player one thing, but until they see it, they don't understand what you're saying. His deal is he has to see it, and then he understands what you're saying. But he's been improving every single game. I mean, physically he's very strong, and that's an asset for him. And he needs to be able to use that strength that he has. Uh, he was way better in the open court the other night, like seeing a gap and just going, versus stopping in that gap, So as long as he continues to, increase his opportunity in that in the transition game, I think it's going to be a whole lot better. And he can shoot the ball also, And the other asset he brings to it is that he's one of our bigger guys, so he goes to the boards. So and I like that aspect of it. So of him, So being young, he's just a sophomore, and my sophomore class, a pretty talented class. I mean, they're pretty good. So them together, they're better than they are apart. So when they're together, they're pretty good. So
Absolutely,
he's
Coach. And
not bad. Yes.
absolutely. And you talk about some of those other talented players you have, Robledo, Gonzalez, and Hill, all those guys have kind of stood out individually in the early part of the season.
Yes. Mhm.
What has really stuck out to you about, how they played and maybe, who's surprised you the most in terms of the growth you've seen out of them?
Well, the other night, that was Robledo's first game. So he came out, his first varsity game. He hit double figures. He can really handle the ball. and he can shoot the ball, and he can guard the ball in the half court. Drayshawn Hill, uh, one of our bigger guys like Diego, he's really good on the boards. Looking forward to him really getting better at doing that. And then there's Anthony Gonzalez. Anthony can, from the 3-point stripe, he's probably leading our team in 3-point shooting right now. You know, when he gets going, it's pretty good. Everybody feeds off of him. But our leader is Leighton Brown. If Leighton gets going, and he pulls everybody with him, he's positive. Those guys are younger. He traveled with me last year. If something goes on, I look to Leighton Brown to take care of those things, and he doesn't take it on as like it's pressure. He takes it on like, hey, he's supposed to be that leader. So that aspect of him coming from football, being an all-district quarterback, to coming to us, he's not necessarily running the point guard for us, but he runs that off guard, and he's able to be a great leader for us.
Absolutely,
So,
Coach.
I'm just, once we start gelling, I think it's going to take the season. I told him it's not how we start, it's how we finish. Some of those games, those scores are up there, but, a couple of those games, I mean, we might have had 1 or 2 minutes in that game to where, things just weren't going our way, but majority of the time, those games, we're in those games. The score isn't indicative to how well the team is playing at times.
Absolutely, Coach. And, you guys just came off a great one against a really talented Hereford team, and one that went really back and forth between the two of you guys. And, I'm curious, when you have a game like that is that kind of close push and pull battle, how do you feel like that can help in the early part of the season in terms of, helping your team kind of get used to being in that kind of competitive environment and facing that adversity, so that when they face it again down the road, they might be more ready for it?
Yeah. And we talk about adversity all the time, how we're going to respond to it. But that game the other night, there were situations in that game, and we keep going into these situations, and that game's going to help us on down the line on down the road. The film in that game is way more valuable than some of the film that we have in previous games. So just being able to handle pressure is one thing, I mean, if we're able to do that, then we're pretty good everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It'll allow us to do a lot of different things. So that's an aspect that we get from a situation like that. Uh-huh.
Absolutely, Coach. And, you talk about you guys heading down to Midland. Once again, Coach Michael Jackson from Caprock joining us. And, Coach, I'm curious, what's the trip been like? I know it's a long trip for you guys. How do you guys kind of pass the time and make sure, you're, like you said, you're staying in the right headspace while you're on the trip?
That's funny. Well, right now we had some issues with our bus. So my guys are on the bus playing Uno right now. So I mean, I guess Leighton brought some Uno cards, so they're on there playing Uno right now. They like each other a lot. They're all about the same age. They're a little bit different than my guys last year. So they're a lot more talkative than my guys last year. So I'm enjoying that atmosphere, that aspect of them. And they can get on to each other and they don't take it personal. And I really like that about them. I was like, one game I encouraged it, like, good. I mean, you guys are supposed to talk, you're supposed to handle each other like that. So, that's them trying to get to know each other and get the chemistry together. So, so it's not bad so far. So, get back on the highway here in a minute.
Absolutely, Coach. Hey, Uno's not a bad way to pass the time. It's not a bad idea, as long as things don't get too competitive. I know you got some competitive players on there, so as long as they can, keep things calm, you'll be good. All right, Coach, thank you so much for joining us from the road. Good luck the rest of your trip. Hopefully you guys are able to, get through it smoothly the rest of the way once things, get figured out. And we wish you guys the best of luck at the tournament this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, Coach Jackson. We hope to talk to you again real soon. We'll be right back with more Sports Drive after the break.